What is one country that you will never visit again? Story 1. Egypt. As many down threads said, Cairo looks like a war zone. There are turrets on street corners, tanks, soldiers with automatic weapons everywhere. We had an armed police officer on the tour bus, a police escort everywhere, bomb dogs, and a guy with a mirror looking under the bus for bombs. Cairo is dirty, littered, and the poverty is staggering. The food was matched at best as we could not travel outside the hotel or tour path to eat. It was blisteringly hot. The camel guys at the pyramids were mean to all of the women and the animals, with children working there as well. The only things well cared for and secured were Tutankhamun's artifacts. It's a spectacular resource and collection and so badly cared for with no curation. The new one just opened. I sure hope it's better. Once you've seen one temple, one hieroglyphic, you've truly seen them all. It's all about tourist money, and the street vendors were relentless and scary. Even on a nice open boat ride down the Nile, kids paddled up to the boat on wooden doors, selling cheap crap or begging for money. Never again. Story 2. The Gambia in West Africa. I've traveled to over 40 countries in my life, including Egypt, Morocco, India, and Cameroon, and the Gambia is by far the worst of the bunch. Went there in 2009 with my girlfriend. We were 20 at the time. It is by far the most corrupt country in the world. Let me start by saying it's a beautiful country, and the people there are the friendliest people you could wish to meet. But the way they are treated by the government is disgusting. We met a local guy there called Jimmy Brave, who lived in a hut on the beach with his young family. Amazing guy, cooked us dinner every night and never wanted anything but friendship in return. We have him a fair bit of money on our last day, more than we usually would, because he genuinely didn't want it. Anyway, one night we decided we wanted to check out the nightlife in the tourist area where it was safe. So my friend Jimmy agreed to meet us by the hotel entrance at 7 p.m. Then we would take him for dinner and hit a few bars. We got to the front of the hotel just before 7 p.m. and Jimmy wasn't there. We waited around an hour, still no Jimmy. At this point, we assumed he had forgot, so we went back out of the rear exit onto the beach and to his hut. His wife said he had gone to meet us over an hour ago. We searched for about 4 hours and still couldn't find him, so his wife suggested we call the local tourist police. We called and they confirmed he had been arrested for loitering in front of the hotel. We agreed to meet the head of police and arrived at the police station. This is where it got shady. We went in and sat at a desk in an empty dark room. A bug African guy in army clothing came in and sat in front of us. The guy had 2 cigs in his mouth, smoking both at the same time. He slammed his fist on the table and started shouting at us, demanding PS 500, probably a year's wages over there, to release Jimmy. Obviously, we refused after about an hour of arguing and various threats against us. We were a young white couple at the time and they assumed we were wealthy. We managed to agree on PS 70 and a 200 pack of cigs. We paid and were told to wait outside. We were out there for over 2 hours and they brought the wrong guy out. We only knew our friend as Jimmy Brave, not his real name. So this proved challenging. Anyway, I was invited in to show the police who Jimmy was and had to pick him out of a huge cell filled with at least 300 people, some who were very close to death. Anyway, Jimmy spotted me straight away, and we had him released. When we got far enough away from the police station, Jimmy broke down in tears. I've never seen a grown man cry like this in my life. He lifted up his top and he had several large open wounds, where they had been whipping him in the cell and the police truck. We immediately took him to the hospital, where he remained for 2 days at a cost of PS 240-ish. The hospital doctors were great, so bear in mind he was beaten with PAF, hap around 50 times hard, just for waiting outside our hotel to take us for drinks. And he was only released because we paid. If we had never turned up, he said he would have died in there. They don't release the criminals until somebody pays the corrupt police chief. There was people literally dying in front of my eyes in the cell. I've always swore if I become rich, I will be going back there just to release as many of these people as I possibly can, except any dangerous people who actually deserve to be there, obviously. This wasn't the only corruption from the police we seen while there. It's just the main point. We seen police walking down the street slapping women and kids for absolutely no reason. One cop told me he would murder anyone I point out right now for PS 50 had an AK-47. I saw people dragged in the back of trucks, never to be seen again, just for asking people for a bottle of water. I feel really sorry for the majority of the population in Senegambia, as they are amazing, happy people who have to live in constant fear of the police government. Edit. I forgot to mention that Jimmy managed to move to the UK in 2016 with the help of me and another British family. He met in the Gambia. He now lives in Stoke-on-Trent, which is a few hours from where I live, but we talk on Facebook regularly and meet up once or twice a year.
Story 3. Jamaica. I got mugged within the first 5 minutes. I kid you not. I had a girlfriend who went to Jamaica with her family, and while she was sleeping in her hotel room, a local climbed the balcony and snuck into her room. Unlucky for him, her dad is ex-Georgian Special Forces or something and ended up throwing him from the third-story balcony. They went down to look for him, but by the time they got down, he was gone.
Story 4. Haiti. Went and did medical relief in a field hospital after the earthquake. Recent stuff aside, that country is, and has been fucked. Poor infrastructure. Poor education, no significant industries. No natural resource advantage. Corrupt government. Polarized political climate. Island nation, so all imports are more expensive. Poor medical system. Anything a country would need to get a leg up is just non-existent. I'm a pretty positive person and met the loveliest people there, but I've never been more depressed or pessimistic about a place's future. Story 5. Syria. I went before the Civil War and it was honestly one of the loveliest places I've ever been, with super nice friendly people. Add to that, the food is amazing. It would break my heart to see some of the places now. Story 6. No offense, but fuck the Bahamas. It's a tourist trap and not a very good one at that. More like a third world country trying to play at capitalism. Story 7. Haiti. Went on a medical mission. One day was spent at the beach. We got caught in the middle of a protest. I was groped. Several other people were punched. It was terrifying. They only stopped when one of our translators yelled that we were medical workers. We only ended up spending 1 hour at the beach so we wouldn't end up driving back through the same area at night. When we reached that area, it was clear of people. A few overturned vehicles were on fire. A UN detail was hanging out in a big armored vehicle with a very large gun on top. I can't imagine how awful it must be now with all of the civil unrest. Story 8. Egypt. But more specifically, Cairo. The way they treat women and their own people is honestly heartbreaking and disgusting. I have never wanted to be out of a country so fast in my life. A friend of mine was groped on the bus and a fellow student told her, "That is what you get for not riding the all-female bus." I never felt safe, and I constantly felt sorry for almost everything I saw. The poor, the animals, the women. It honestly was devastating. Edit. I've gotten some comments or messages about depends where you go and where you stay, or rape is just as high there as it is in other countries. I am a female that was traveling with my good friend who was a local from Mahdi. I wore pants and conservative clothing to respect the culture. We even had a driver and male Egyptian friends escorting us and still had issues. They told us to never be without an escort. Ever. Yes, Alex and Dahab are beautiful, but the experience as woman doesn't change drastically from Cairo. The country is rich in history and has some great diving. But the behavior from many males and the infrastructure is fucked. If you're interested in learning something new, look up Garbage City in Cairo. That should give you an idea of some of the poverty levels happening there. Story 9. South Africa. Some random truck rolled up outside of our hotel and got in a shootout for no apparent reason. I walked out after the shooting to see around 7 people dead, or at least injured, including our tour guide. Story 10. Qatar. I worked there for 15 months. Appalling treatment of workers, very, very hot weather. Terrible food, and the whole country is a building site getting ready for the World Cup next year. After that, the country will be empty. Nothing to do apart from work and shopping. Story 11. Afghanistan. I would love to go back and be a tourist, but I don't think I will ever have the opportunity, nor would it be responsible now that I have a family. The country is absolutely beautiful, and the weather was nice. The people are one of the kindest, most respectful cultures I have ever had the pleasure of working with, full of beautiful traditions and fantastic food. Sadly, they have their issues, and it wouldn't be wise to risk going there as a tourist. A real shame, too, because I'd have loved to visit the resorts in Bamiyan and go skiing and snowboarding there. Story 12. France. Airport security guy fondled my crotch. I was 14 at the time. Some dude tried to kidnap my sister, 16 at the time, and my friend got pickpocketed. All in 2 days. El Mao came here to see what countries had crazy stories only to find out what a shithole Egypt is. That's it for the video. Comment down below if you've ever had a crazy story in another country, or what country you would never visit again. Have a great day.